All right. It's Thursday. It
Hey
is
everybody.
Thursday.
Happy
Thursday.
Thursday.
Thursday. We're going to go ahead and take a moment to share this. Um, not using headphones today, so hopefully folks can hear us. So I guess we'll test it once we see people kind of jumping on. Thursday. I feel like Thursday just happened.
Yeah, these weeks are flying by.
I feel like Thursday just
Flying
happened.
by.
Let me go ahead and share this real quick. I have a moment that I can do that. So we're going to share it to Facebook. Um, okay, so I got the link. Are you sharing it, Elizabeth?
I shared it, yes, to Facebook.
All right. All right. Let's see. Join us.
Got to
Join us
figure out
now.
another.
There's another. There isn't another way, babe.
There isn't?
No. I mean, I guess I could create a link ahead of time, but it's all good. It don't matter. I know you don't like the time that happens that where there is no where there's just small talk. I understand, but it's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. No worries. It's all good, right? Because in the beginning, right? Let's just be 100% honest. In the beginning, right? There really isn't anyone watching while we're sharing. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
just
I
so it
know.
gives us a couple minutes to.
I know that, but I just don't like people are going to watch this after the fact.
Well, it's cool. No worries. No worries. Anyway, it's Thursday. We and you know what happens on Thursdays, right? It's time for Thursday night convo. This is basically a conversation that we have, and it's about all things relationships. So you could come on here, or we can come on here, and you can watch us on here, and you may get um, anything.
Anything.
Who
You
knows?
remember a couple of weeks ago? Do I have to speak into this?
You
Like,
do.
okay.
Well, I mean, you don't have
This,
to. You don't have to eat it, but you do have to speak into it.
I need one of those. Like,
Yeah, I'll get
I
you
need
one.
an arm.
I'll get you one.
Um, remember a couple of weeks ago you were a little testy with me?
I was.
Yeah, you were like, "Oh, you want to stop talking about it? Okay, fine. We'll stop talking
Well,
about it."
that's because you wanted to stop talking about it.
Yeah, but you were a little testy with me that night.
Well, I mean, I this is the forum where we talk about things, so we can't get on here and then not want to talk about something.
I
What? What? What?
I don't even remember what the topic was. Do you
Yeah, I
remember?
don't either. I don't remember what
Couldn't
the topic
couldn't
was
have been
either.
that important.
Hold on. It was when we were talking about the Kanye West thing situation,
Mm,
and just his family and what they were, the things that they were saying about him and that kind of thing.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and you got
And
tired of it.
and there's that. We have a dog. Sorry.
Yeah. So Thursday night is basically about us coming together and having conversation. Why do we come together every Thursday and have conversation? Because
We want people we want couples
we
to
just want
talk
couples to
more.
talk more.
And so we are the example,
We just want
basically.
couples to talk more about everything
Any and
because,
everything.
right, because conversation is a catalyst for learning your spouse. It is a catalyst for growth. It is a catalyst for clarification
Lay
kinds
down.
of things to happen. Um,
Lay down.
there's some things, and we can attest to this, right? There's some things in our relationship that we just kind of assumed. We didn't talk, we never talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we actually had the conversation, we're like, wait a minute. That's how you
Mm-hmm.
that's how you felt, really?
Yeah.
And it's funny, right? You would say, wow, why wouldn't you do it? But you'd be surprised, or maybe you wouldn't, how many people just take some of those conversations for granted, and they don't um happen.
Is there anybody in here yet?
There is
I just
a couple
want,
people in,
I
I
would
think.
just like to know if they can hear us.
Are you on? Can you hear? Let me send this link.
Oh, that would make
Um,
sense, right? Turn it up.
Yeah, just if you can hear it, then. Are you on? Yep. So you're good. So give me 1 second, folks. Um, we have some guests this week. We're pretty excited about it, but we want to make sure that they.
I thought you
Um,
sent it. No.
I did, but they said it didn't work. So let me make sure I put this in here correctly.
Yeah, we have a great guest couple that's going to come on with us. And can I say what we're talking about?
Yeah.
So, we are going to be talking with this great couple about rest. Do you rest enough in your relationship? Do you rest enough?
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you right now. I
Well,
was
I already know we don't.
Oh, I was about to say I was gonna save it. I was gonna save it for when we get into conversation. But you don't rest enough.
What? What? Why?
You.
Well, I know that.
Yeah,
But
you don't get enough rest. And it shows in
am I irritable?
our interactions.
Oh,
It does.
really? Oh,
Did I drop the hammer?
Yeah.
I didn't mean for it to feel like I was
I mean, I
dropping the
don't
hammer.
feel bad, but well, I do feel bad that it's showing. But I mean, I don't feel bad that you dropped the hammer because it needed to be dropped clearly. But am I irritable? Is that what you mean?
Uh, I think we both get irritable. We both get a little standoffish sometimes. We do. We both do. We talked about this. We both retreat to our corners at times. We both have these moments of.
So, but yeah, I guess I would agree with that. Here's the next thing. Do you think that needing rest, is it always physical? Like, can rest mean in other ways as well? I think so.
Yeah, it can, and we're going to talk about it. We got some guests. We're going to talk about it. We're going to have a conversation. Before we get into that, though, we're going to bookend it the same way we bookend every last one of these, right? So you should be used to it by now. We've created a tool, and that tool is called the Have a Conversation Journal. And in that journal, you can start these conversations, right? We give you something that you can use, a tangible tool that you can write down some talking points. You can kind of look at some things. You can brain dump, if you will, before you do it with your spouse. I often brain dump with my spouse. She doesn't like that. She's not going to, she admits it. Okay. I was going to say she's not going to admit it, but never mind. Okay. So she admits it.
Oh my God.
She doesn't like when I brain dump, right? Because she wants to, it doesn't come out with the level of clarity
I need order
that she expects, right? And so that makes the conversation go even further south.
It's choppy,
right? Because
brain dumping is choppy, and I just need order, and so I can't process I can't process the dumping because it's in bites.
Right.
I need order.
It's too much. It's too much for her. So this tool works great for me because I can kind of write some things down and be like, nope, this is not going to work. Okay, yeah, this will work. I can piece some things together, and then I can let her look at it, or I can start the conversation based on what I'm doing.
And here's the other thing with a journal too. So you don't really have to have order in a journal because you are literally brain dumping. And I think if I read it, it's easier for me to receive it. If I read a brain dump, it's easier for me to receive it than if I hear it.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just, it processes better for me.
So clearly we need the journal just as much as you do. Really is what the point is, right? We need it just as much as you do. So you know how we use it and what it does for us.
Yeah.
It can do the same thing for you, and you can get it at our website, denali.org/shop. Get it on Amazon or Barnes and Nobles. Okay. Now, I'm not rushing because I don't think that's important. I'm rushing because we have some guests. I just want to talk to the guests. All right. So we're gonna bring some guests on. And
people.
we love these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're gonna bring them on now. And here they are.
My people.
Here they are.
Hey, hey.
Now,
I don't know if we can hear you.
Now
Are you talking?
Unmute your mic, because
what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's up?
With
Too
no
loud, too loud, too loud.
Are we too loud?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can't hear you.
So they can hear us and we can't hear them. Why is that? That's unacceptable.
Oh, hold on.
The headphones, is it?
You sure? Oh yeah.
Oh, I know what the problem is. One second.
Oh,
It is. One moment.
Please hold.
Okay.
We're using headphones.
So
Tonight,
change that.
right. Tonight we're not using headphones. So we are going to attempt to try this. All right. Is that better?
Microphone
We can
check.
hear you.
1,
Can
2,
you hear
1,
us?
2.
Ah,
Hey!
We can hear them. Now check on your phone and make sure you can hear them.
What's up, guys? Can you hear?
On? How y'all doing?
What's up, guys?
Yeah, you're live.
Okay, so they're on.
Yeah, you can hear
We're
us.
trying to do this tonight without headphones, which is probably not the best idea.
Well, we ain't got no headphones either, so
Yeah.
we
So
do it without
this is what
headphones
we're gonna have to do. 1 second. This is cool because it's this is what these nights are about, right? They're just impromptu. Things happen that shouldn't happen.
So we're putting headphones in, yes?
Yeah, but can you text Justin and just tell him I actually do need it?
Okay.
So while that's happening, one moment, while that's happening, I just want to say about these guys, right? That, and this is not a knock on other people that we know, right? But you know how you meet somebody and there's just you can't even articulate really what the vibe is with that particular person or people.
Yeah.
And it's just something that you resonate with a little bit better and a little bit easier than you do with maybe some other folks, right? This is that couple.
Yes. I would agree 110%.
This is that couple that, and if you're not following them, we're gonna let them tell you how you can get a hold of them. But if you're not already following them, once you begin to follow them, you will understand what we're saying. Because I know I didn't do it justice.
No.
In terms, no, I didn't.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
man,
you did.
you
I'm
get
sorry.
me tonight.
I'm sorry.
What's happening?
I didn't mean it like that.
I didn't do it justice. You're right, though. I didn't do it justice.
I didn't mean it like that.
But these guys are, we throw these terms around very loosely about individuals who are real and individuals who are, authentic and folk that keep it 100. We kind of throw those terms around very, very loosely, right? But these terms directly apply.
Yeah. Yeah, I love them.
Great.
Yeah.
So
appreciate you guys.
We are getting our headphone situation together so that we can hear you, which I don't understand why this doesn't.
I mean, I can hear them, but it's just really, really low.
So
sorry, girls, guys.
We're gonna get our headphone situation together. We're gonna be ready in just
2 minutes.
No, we're gonna be ready in less than 2 minutes.
2 shakes of a lamb's tail.
All right. So, family, thank you, first of all, for taking
No,
the time out
thank you.
The honor is
to hang out with
ours.
us tonight. We appreciate it.
Now you have to switch the thing back because we still can't hear them.
Right. I'm switching it back right now. Right now.
The honor is
All right,
ours.
here we go.
We good? Y'all can hear it good?
Yep, we're good.
Okay.
We were just saying the honors
Honor's
is ours, actually.
We're honored and
And
grateful. And
it's funny that you would refer and describe us the way that you did. Because to be honest with you, that's how I feel about y'all.
That's exactly how I feel.
So I would say that we are mirrored images.
Yes.
And I'm grateful for that, because you need to be able to do life. Because life gets hard.
Yes.
And life is fun too, but you need to be able to know who you could get on the horn real quick. Whether it's come down here with a do-rag and some Vaseline because we about to fight.
Right.
Yes, come on, pull the earrings off. Or, yo, would y'all just pray with us?
Pray.
Or we about to go skydiving. Y'all want to go?
She ain't going.
Maybe not. I'm not going, but it's, but y'all would be the ones who would call.
You went too far.
I ain't doing that.
I'll hold your bag. I'll hold your bag. I'll hold your purse. I'll hold your phone.
Yes.
Cheer you on.
Hey, I'm definitely skydiving though. I'm gonna let you know.
Y'all talked about being 100, and I would say y'all for me in my book, y'all are ride or dies.
Yeah.
Man, we appreciate that.
Love
we
it.
appreciate that. Thank you so much for that.
Same.
I think that, it's important that, we are able to have these conversations with genuine folks, you know what I mean? Because the whole thing with this Thursday night situation that we do, really, I don't know if you caught it in the beginning, but the whole point of this is really to get couples to talk more. And it's crazy, man, how many couples don't have these authentic conversations. They just don't. And they're just kind of guessing their way through life.
Yeah.
Right. And they're just kind of winging it. We did it in the beginning. There were some conversations that we should have had early on that we didn't have till way years later.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And realizing, man, we could have saved ourselves eons of time by just, clarifying some things up front. And so we get on here, man, and just have some conversations and people find out some things about us. I guess that maybe some people would say we probably shouldn't disclose, but I feel like there are folk who need to see that happen. One, so that it encourages them that they can do the same. And it also encourages them in the sense that they're not alone. And not so much that misery loves company, but sometimes you just need to know that, man, you are not the only person dealing with this.
Yeah.
You're just not.
Yeah.
So that's the whole goal of this, man. So let's jump into this because I love this topic, and I kind of mess with Nisi a little bit. We both don't get rest. Let's keep it real.
So I don't know if you heard in the beginning what
we heard some stuff. We heard some stuff in the media.
Okay.
We heard y'all. We heard some of the questions and all that. and I heard you ask, is like sleep the only type of rest we're talking about?
Right.
Things of that nature. Rest is something that I would subscribe for everybody to take a study on what it is, because it's far more than just laying in the bed and going to sleep. Sleep is a small aspect of rest, but it's a very important aspect of rest too. And for just for sleep, sleep is more than just jumping in your bed and getting some hours in. Sleep is about making sure that you are going to bed at the right time so that your body can do what it needs to do in order for you to wake up in the morning and be at your best. It's a difference between going to sleep at 2:00 in the morning and waking up. You could go to sleep at 2:00 in the morning, still get 7 hours of sleep, and your body ain't done what it's supposed to do. Right? And I'm like y'all. I'm a night owl. Right? And so even though I know about this stuff, knowing is one thing. I am actually in process of trying to implement the things that I've learned. And it's hard because I'm in this habit, like 12, 1 o'clock. Those are my times. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's when I get that second boost of energy to do whatever it is that I'm doing. You know, and so it's very important for us to make sure that, like, we get to bed at the right time. You know, so that our hormones and all these things that are going on in our bodies can do what they're supposed to do. We're supposed to be losing weight when we sleep.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
You
So all I
know?
gotta do is go sleep.
Which
Man, I'm about to
which
say,
means, like, if we really took this small nugget called sleep and activated it the way that we were supposed to, it's going to affect the way we eat, the times that we eat. It's going to impact our daily schedule. You know what I'm saying? If we have to make sure that we give our bodies 5 hours before we lay down to go to sleep. So that means all that night snacking that we like to do.
A late night dinner, period.
Yeah. We gotta stop doing those things.
Yeah.
We're supposed to go to bed on an empty stomach so that our digestive tract does not need to work while we're sleeping.
Yeah.
Right? So that the hormones that get injected in our bodies at those timely hours can do what they're supposed to do to rejuvenate, restore, and revive us, so that when we wake up in the morning after our 7 hours of sleep, we're ready to go.
Yeah.
Our frontal lobe is operating at its maximum. You know,
what?
Frontal lobe. You know,
they pulling out the dictionary,
All the words.
pulling out the anatomy and physiology on us.
Let me find out you went to college.
I learned all this stuff just 2 years ago. But like I said, like, knowing is one thing. It's very, very hard for you to change lifestyle.
That's what I was about to say.
It's
very hard to change lifestyle habits, and I'm in the process of trying to do that. And I'm glad I got an accountability. I was going to tell her this morning. I might as well tell her in front of all these people that are watching that I really need you to make sure that I'm at least in the bed by 9:30.
Y'all heard that, right?
Wow.
I need that accountability.
Y'all heard that?
We heard
9:30. 9:30.
Well, see, for me, I want to be up by 4:30 in the morning.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Right? I want to be up at 4:30 in the morning so I can spend some quality time with God. There's a daily devotion that I like to do in the morning pertaining to our ministry, that if I wake up too late, I can't do it.
Okay.
You know, and so all these things are wrapped up in this one piece of my life, and that is I don't go to bed when I'm supposed to. Right? And that's just my whole day up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I'm right now, one of the things that I'm doing is I'm making sure that I'm getting my 7 hours of sleep. Right? No matter what time I go to bed, I'm making sure that I get 7 hours.
Yeah.
But my body isn't reacting. If like I'm telling you, when I get that 7 hours, I feel a lot better. You know, I feel great. But if I go to bed at the right time and I wake up at the right time, I'm gonna feel that much better.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, God didn't give us a day of rest for nothing. Like, God knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
You know, he knew that as human beings, we needed rest. God didn't program our bodies the way he did by accident. Our bodies are registered towards daytime and nighttime.
Yeah.
And our bodies start shutting down when the sun starts going down.
Wow.
Yep.
Our bodies start preparing for rest when the sun goes down, because all of our work should be done during the day, and at night we're supposed to be, you know, but the world has so, like, me particularly, like, there's still elements of the world in me. Like, I was a DJ, you know, so when the sun goes down, that's time for me to go do what I gotta do.
Yeah.
You know, that's time for me to hit the clubs and go partying and stuff like that. And I don't do things like that anymore, but I'm still wired to that time, that time frame.
Yeah.
I've been wired to that time frame for years, you know? And so, like, the battle is go to bed. It's simple. Just go to bed early.
Man, that's serious, man. For those of you who are watching, the Facebook folks, man, if you would do me a favor, in the description of the video, there should be a link that has StreamYard in the sentence. If you click that link, you can allow for your name to be seen so that we can see you. Shout out to the Smiths. I happen to know that they are watching because they said that. Listen, the Smiths, we got you. We already know.
Hey,
we already know that you're in that category with the real. So absolutely. The Smiths are, if you aren't following Edward and Debbie Smith, you should be following them as well.
Good.
Edward and Debbie Smith.
Edward and Debbie Smith. Meet the Smiths.
Meet the Smiths. Yeah.
Oh, I think I follow them.
Yeah. Put that in your rotation. Definitely.
Yeah.
From PA.
Yep.
They're in New Jersey right now, but yeah.
Yep. Part of Jersey.
Yes. New Jersey.
Where is Stoddard's Church?
Church of the Oranges. I don't know exactly where it is, but it's Church of the Oranges.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, good.
I'm a Jersey girl.
Yeah, I lived in Jersey for a couple of years.
Okay.
Man, what's crazy with the rest thing, man, is that here's what I think we don't realize. I think we don't realize how crucial rest is as it relates to how we interact with each other.
And clearly it is because of what you said in the beginning of the show.
Mm-hmm.
You pointed out that I don't get enough rest and that it shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like how does it show?
Well, I just, like what I said in the beginning, I think that often some of the things that cause us to retreat, if we will, to our separate corners, or the things that cause us to get irritable with each other, we can pinpoint them to a particular scenario. So we could say this or this or this is happening. But I think if we strip away the layers of those things, the amount of rest that we get would probably allow us the fortitude, if you will, to deal with those things a little bit more efficiently.
Yeah.
And so we wouldn't get to that place where we would retreat, or we wouldn't get to that place where we'd be irritable with each other. So I think that sometimes we don't connect the dots back to the fact that we were still up at 4 a.m. And then got right back up again at 7.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not, we don't connect the dots back to that.
Yeah.
So that's good, because I think a lot of people need to know that.
Yeah.
Word up. It was funny because we started, is this our first week or our second week? Getting up in the morning and just having a moment. This is our first week. Just kind of trying to, I guess, rewind, And so we decided at 6 a.m. we would get up and we would, have prayer, read a chapter in the Word, kind of talk it through and just check in with each other. And this morning, alarm goes off and I was so exhausted. And I just was like, babe, I mean, he didn't hear his alarm, but I was just like, babe, I need another hour. I can't, And
did you go to bed?
Say again?
Did you go to bed late?
I don't think I went to bed that late last night. I don't think I went to bed later than 11, actually.
Okay.
Well, I guess, all right, fine, 7 hours. Yep. So, no, but that's more than 7 hours.
11 to 6?
Yeah, right? That's 7 hours. Yeah, so 7 hours. But I was really, really exhausted. So I say, yo, give me an hour. And I didn't even set my alarm again. I just knew that my body would wake up because I'm usually up by 5.
Okay.
And
no matter what time she goes to sleep, she up at 5.
I knew that my body would wake up again. So I was just like, I'm not even gonna set the alarm. I didn't wake up again until 7:42. I was like, dang, like I must have really needed that,
Yeah.
And I'll tell you one thing, COVID, this time being home like this, it has really, I know everybody keeps saying this, but one area that it has shifted for us is we may not be fully doing it yet, but you know when you know better, you do better.
Yeah.
And so what we do know is that couple things. Rest is a rebellion.
Yeah.
Like you know, when you think about when you okay, let's keep it like, all right, you know, let's go biblical, right? So keep the seventh day Sabbath holy, right? That's a protest. That's a rebellion, right? I'm gonna protest. Hell no, I'm not gonna do that because I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna rest, right? And so what's interesting about resting, physical, emotional, spiritual, even romantic rest, financial, any kind of rest you can think of is a rebellion against the action. Yes. It's a rebellion against the activity. Whatever that activity is that you would normally do in that particular area, you're not going to do it, right? And so one thing that we found in this time is that it's not easy to rest. I mean, when we were all sent home, I don't know about y'all, them first 2 weeks, I was trying to find any reason to get up out this house.
Yeah.
Anything.
I had to like pull the brakes, like, no.
Anything. And now I, you know, generally only go out when it's necessary, you know?
Yeah.
But yes, rest is a rebellion and it's hard to do it. It really does take practice and it takes intention. And it takes you deciding to protest. Like, I am not gonna do that. And it's funny because you know how you can get wrapped up in your work, whether it's your professional work or your Denali work, like all of it, right?
And that's where we are.
No, sorry, go ahead.
I'm saying that's where we are, because like for us, I feel like in this COVID time. What's up, Halima? Halima said, "Hey,
Halima.
What's with us, right? And this
Halima."
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, wait a minute. Have I been saying that wrong all these years?
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Halima. Sorry.
My bad. But for us, right, I think that during this COVID time, we have actually gotten less rest.
It's true.
Even though we've been home more, we've gotten less rest for that very reason. We're like, you know, we're under this, you know, self-proclaimed mandate, if you will, that, you know, I'll sleep when I'm dead. I got this book to write. I got these videos I got to make. I got these posts I got to create. I got these things I got to podcasts I got to edit. I got these, you know what I mean? And I'm working full time on top of all that. Right. So I'm like, and last night is a great example.
Today,
great example. But last night in particular, I'm trying to format the book, right? And I'm having issues. I actually don't want to go to bed.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if I go to bed, and I literally got into bed like, man, I have not accomplished
really
my goal
right now. Yeah.
You know, so it's almost like we sacrifice the very thing that would allow us to be more efficient so that we could be more efficient.
Yeah.
You think. You know what I mean?
Check this out. It's not so much that we sacrifice. It's the first thing that we put on the chopping block. Rest is the first thing that we decide to sacrifice.
So true.
When it's the most important factor in our day.
Yeah.
You know, rest is naturally going to slow us down. And that's what we are afraid of. We're afraid of being slowed down. Right? But if we look at why God created rest, it's so that we can stop. And so I'm starting to formulate a plan for my day, right? And I'm working between these certain hours, and after that, if I'm not done, I'm just not done. Right? And I'm gonna trust God to allow me to wake up tomorrow so I can continue with the process. While I trust God so much so that I'm gonna get the rest that He has designed my body to get, so that I can work efficiently enough tomorrow to make sure that I get the task done. Yeah. You know, and we don't think like that. Like, we live in this capitalistic world that tells us, like you said, like, those are some of the things, like, you know, I'm a rest when I die, so I'm going to go hard right now for everything that I want, need, and have to get. And I'm like, what you're really saying is I'm gonna kill myself, so my rest is going to come quicker in that fashion that I want it to.
Yeah. And
you know, when I was learning this stuff at school, and this isn't like, I'm a theology major. Like, I graduated this year from Washington Adventist University with my bachelor's degree in theology, right? Nice. But these are some of the courses that they mandated that we take, right? And so when I studied rest, right, for the first time, I was like, yo, I'm killing myself. Like, the diseases that are attached to just lack of rest.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Like high blood pressure.
Yep.
Diabetes.
Yep.
Especially in our community.
Yep.
You know, that have direct links to not getting to something as simple as not getting enough sleep.
That's crazy, man.
So here's a question for all of us, right? Because Leah, you mentioned it's not necessarily always physical, right?
Right. Right.
Emotional, it could be spiritual, it could be whatever we need to rest from. Financial. How does one rest emotionally? Because I feel like your emotions are always on, right? How does one rest emotionally? What does that look like?
Honestly, I don't know, because I don't feel like we do.
I don't
feel like we
do
rest
either.
emotionally, because, and I say that because often I get into bed to physically rest, but my head
Yeah.
like spinning like like I can't even think of something that spins faster than what my head is spinning.
I don't know. I guess I don't know. Maybe that's something that we just have to pray about and ask God, look, I can't shut off my emotions. I don't know how. I don't know how one rests emotionally, because to me, I feel like your emotions are a part of you. So how can I rest from what's a part of me? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I think it is a good idea to ask the Lord about resting emotionally. I don't know that I would ask God to turn it off, because it is a part of you, right? Yeah. The same way that I would not tell a single person, ask God to turn off your sexual appetite. No, ask God to help you manage, you know? You know, for a married person, anybody, ask God to help you manage your sexual appetite, right? Because your sexual appetite is part of what God has given you.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough.
That's
another conversation that's happening. I don't know what Thursday, but we might bring you back on for that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Let's do it.
Because in the back of my mind, because a lot of times, unless we have a guest, we don't always know what we're going to talk about, which is the beauty, which keeps this authentic, you know? However, and I didn't even tell you this, I'm telling you this now in front of everybody. In my mind, I was like, that's a conversation we need to have.
Wow.
On sexual appetite.
Right. Based on something that I have not told you yet.
Oh my God.
So we have to talk about that.
But
yeah, go ahead.
Y'all getting the raw, real deal right here. So I think it is a conversation that we ought to have with God. How do I rest? Help me be a better steward over my emotions so that I can rest. some of the things that we need to work out emotionally could be writing them down, literally. It could be writing them down before you go to bed, just taking time intentionally, maybe even before you get to the bed. And just whether you're jotting it down in your phone or you're throwing it in a journal, like do something to write down, get something out of you physically, right? It could be, you know, some people, they do like gratitude, you know, they write down a few things that they're grateful for.
Yeah.
I would even include write a few things down that you're grateful for, write a few things down that are bothering you, write a few things down that you're afraid of, write a few things down that you're concerned about, right? The other thing I would also consider is, do I, one, have the resources? And if I have the resources, do I need to find myself a therapist?
I was just
Because what I'm dealing with, it's not enough for me to write down some gratitude and some what I'm concerned about. I need to go down and sit down in somebody's chair.
Yeah.
Or get on somebody's mental telehealth call.
Yeah.
Because I gotta get this stuff out, because it is ruining my life, you know?
Literally.
And by the way, Ché and I are not therapists, we're not counselors, we're not doctors, we just regular folks, students.
So in that lane, I want to tell a story particularly about me. Years ago, before I met Leah, before I even came to the United States of America, because I'm not from here, I'm from Bermuda. And this was actually at the time where God started really calling me to ministry. And well, before he even started calling me to ministry, where he started calling me back to him. And like, I was at a place in my life where, like I tell people all the time, so I'm just being transparent, but I can't be no other way. One of the things one of the worst things that can happen to me is heartbreak. Right? I tell people all the time, you could break my leg and break my arm, and I'd rather deal with that pain than deal with the pain of heartbreak.
Wow.
Right? And so God actually used heartbreak to call me back to him.
Ooh. Wow.
Right? Right. So I'm in a heartbroken state of mind. And you know, when you're in that place, how your emotions are just like running wild. Like, I literally could not sleep. I couldn't eat.
Yeah.
I couldn't do any of this. Like, I was gone. My mind was gone. And like, for the first time in a long time, I'm really having conversations with God. I'm really into my word. And I just remember, like, God, prove to me that you're real. You got to still my mind. Like, I'm going to go crazy if you do not just give me peace of mind. Right? And instantly, I had peace of mind. So when I want to, like, our emotions are usually like, emotions aren't bad. Right? So when we use the term emotion, when it comes to stuff like this, we're usually talking about stuff that's like troubling us. Like, and it's something that triggered our emotions, and because it's triggered our emotions, it won't stop us from thinking. It can't, like, it's not letting us go. Right? I'm all for going to counseling and stuff like that's very important. But I know that God hears our prayers, right? And I know this from experience. So sometimes we just gotta ask God for peace of mind. God, I need rest. You created me so that I can get the rest that I need. I need you to take these emotions, like, just take the thing away from me right now. If I gotta think about it tomorrow, that's another thing. But I need to get rest. Could you please just still my mind?
Yeah.
Just calm me down a little bit so I can get some sleep, God, and some peace. Right? God claims that He is the God of peace, and we got to trust that that's what He is. Right? He's a peacemaker. He's a heart mender. Right? There's nothing that we go through emotionally that God cannot help us to get through and help us to deal with. So, and He's the one that created rest for us in the first place. So he's not going to put something in our way that would cause us to miss out on the rest that he knows we desperately need.
Right.
So, yes, go to counseling, do all of those things. And also remember, especially if you're a believer of God, don't sleep on prayer.
Oh, absolutely.
Because honestly, prayer is a form of rest.
Yes.
Yeah. That's good.
Okay. Like God didn't say cast all our cares on him for nothing. Like when he said it, he meant it. You know, and so like I've practiced that promise that he's going to take my burdens away from me and he's going to give me something way lesser to do. And that thing that's lesser to do is just go spread the gospel. Let me take care of all your worries, your cares, and your concerns. I'm going to feed you. I'm going to put a roof over your head. I'm going to put clothes on your body. You worry about doing what I want you to do.
Yeah.
I'll take care of everything else. You ain't got to worry about all that stuff. Right? And I take that promise that Christ has made to me and I believe it. And so I live by that. So Leah would tell you, like when things are on my mind, my first go-to is I need to put this in God's hands because I can't. He didn't create me to handle all this stuff. God never created humanity to handle anything that's sinful. And worry, doubt, concern, anxiety, disease, sickness, all of that is symptoms of sin.
Yep.
And so if he didn't create us to carry it, and he's telling us to give all that stuff to him,
wow.
As believers, that's the first thing we need to do. Right? God, and God may say, look, go get some counseling. Right? He could do that. And God can also say, you know what? I got you. Have some peace. Get some rest.
So good. Life balance.
Man, that's good, man.
Really good.
That is, you know what? Let's just be honest. That is for us, that is both an admonition and a rebuke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we're not there. Let's just keep it 100. We know that, but the circumstances that we have allowed to govern the way we traverse life is in direct contradiction to that philosophy that you just laid out.
Mercy.
That's most of it.
Which I believe is the reason why some of the stuff that burdens us the way it does. Right. Last week we had a good friend on, Mia, who was definitely driving home with us the need and the benefit of getting on somebody's couch based on some things that we talked about in last week's conversation.
And
but
so
this
week to have this balance,
and that's what I was just about to say.
Yeah, very good.
That is the other side.
Yeah.
Of the what's the thing that the balancing thing? What are they called?
Scale.
Whatever it's called. That's the other side of it. We talked about one side last week, and they just gave us the other side of it.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
You know what I think?
Put in the comments, life balance.
Yep, I just put it up there.
Life balance.
Wow.
Yeah.
Therapy.
Yes. Yep.
That's good. and that's the exact phrase that Mia used last week. Jesus and therapy.
Yep.
Very exact phrase she did. I think something else too. I think, and we're both guilty of it, but I'm gonna throw you under the bus a little bit because you might be a little bit more guilty than I am.
How do you throw someone under the bus a little bit?
Just a leg.
Just a
leg.
Just a leg.
Just one tire. Just one tire.
Yeah. Not all of them. Just one. Right. And just over the toes. That's it. Not the whole body. But I feel like our devices, our phones, are for us
deterrents of rest.
Yes, most definitely
deterrents of rest.
Ché just got a notification.
I would agree.
That's good though. That's good. Let me because when we're sleeping, We shouldn't be sleeping near our phones. Our phones shouldn't be next to our heads like they are.
Yeah.
The other thing I'm trying to get Leah to come to terms with is, because Leah likes sleeping with the window open and the shades up. And she just likes the moonlight, or if it's stormy, she likes to see the storm and all that stuff.
Aww.
We are supposed to be sleeping in the most, like, we got to make the room as dark as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, so
I just bought some eye masks.
Yeah, she's been.
That's it.
oh,
That's it.
She got some. I think I might try. I might try it. Here's the thing. I can only try it on Friday night. That's the only night I can try it. Because if it works,
you're not gonna.
I ain't gonna make it to work. I'm not gonna make it to work. Because right now, I think what happens with me now is that my body now is so used to not getting enough rest that she's not a morning person, right? I can go to bed at 4 and I can still get up at 6:30 and go throughout my entire day. I think my body is just now conditioned to do that.
Nope, your body is not.
Well, you know what I mean. But I think I've just gotten in that rut.
Right.
Where
Yeah.
I just keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
If I put them eye things on, I ain't getting up.
That's why you need them then, brother.
Yo,
hear me out though. So there's a study that they took, right? And they took for people that get less than 4 hours of sleep.
Wait till you hear this.
And they said that these people after the 3rd week don't feel like they're tired anymore.
Yeah.
They feel like that they're operating in the optimum, but they're comparing it to being drunk.
So you're ready to say like a functional alcoholic.
Yeah, they're comparing it to like you're not operating well, like you are actually operating way slower. Your response time is way slower. And we get used to that. And we think that's I believe that a large amount of us don't know what it's like to operate at our optimum level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're so used to operating in tiredness, right? And we could be very productive in tiredness.
Yes.
But if we would just allow ourselves, you need damn blindfolds, brother.
Yeah.
You need them. If we would allow ourselves, if we would rest our body, rest our minds, so that they can get back to functioning the way that they were created to function.
Yeah.
We will find out that we would get through a lot more things in less amount of time than we do now, because our mind will be firing all cylinders, and our bodies will be able to keep up with our minds.
Wow.
That's good. That's good.
You know, I was sitting here listening to all of that both of y'all said, and so this idea comes to my mind, my heart, my soul. I don't know. Maybe it's the Holy Spirit. Maybe it's not. But this idea comes to mind, and I'm like trembling in my spirit as I say it, because I think it might be necessary, but a very difficult challenge. Yeah, I know, right? That's how my soul feels. Say it again, Denise. Say it again. Yeah, that's the microphone in my soul. What if? Y'all ready for this? What if we took one weekend?
You can't even get it out.
One weekend out of the month. And okay, for starters.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, we turn off our phone.
Oh, I could do that.
And put it in another room.
I could do that.
Oh, I could definitely do that.
I could.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I could do that.
I can do that too.
Listen,
but
I'm concerned.
I could do it.
I'm messing with her when I say I'm concerned, but I think that I probably could do it easier than she could. Although I'm tied to my phone probably just as much as she is, but for different reasons.
Right.
So, And I put a picture up the other day, and it's actually way better than it's ever been. Some folk have beat me tremendously, but I put a picture up of like all the red numbers.
Mm.
So like I have
Notifications.
probably 100 and something text messages I haven't responded to. The emails used to be crazy, but now it's probably right under 200, you know.
And that's not crazy.
That's not crazy. That's phenomenal in my world that it's under 200. But for me, I think that would be a way for me to disconnect. That would be a way for me to disconnect from all of that. Like no text messages, no
I could do
emails, no.
I could do it.
So what's interesting for me is I think what the trepidation in my soul is because I think that's the first step. I think maybe the next step might be to spend an entire 24 hours without the phone. And I think that's scary to me, right? And so it's interesting because like literally, like y'all are talking, I'm thinking, well, how I'm gonna wake up? Well, how am I, you know, all these things.
Right.
So then it was like the Lord said, well, you know, they still sell alarm clocks, right? You could just go buy an alarm clock and then you could set your alarms for when you want to wake up. All right, Lord, okay. But then I'm thinking, well, we don't have a house phone. So what if there's really an emergency?
I did think of that. What if
right? Like, how are they gonna call us?
Yeah. I did.
We might have to get a house phone, Ché.
Look.
Check this out. Do while you're thinking about that, I threw this question up on the screen. Is your emotions really the problem? Or is it your state of worry?
But is it?
But that's what I was getting to, though. Like, it's the thing that triggers our emotions that's the problem. You know, so for me, it was, I miss my girl, even though I broke up with her. I miss my girl. I want my girl back. I wish she was here with me right now because we spent a lot of time together. This was years ago. You know, and was like,
that sounds like another conversation.
right. And so those are the things that were triggering my emotions, right? And God had to say, your girl may not be here, but I am. Right? You're in my presence. I'm with you. You're going to be okay. You know, and so God had to take that piece that I was worried about, and shift it so that my emotions could calm down, and then I could go to sleep and wake up and go to work the next day. You know. So it's the thing, and I go back to it again in the scripture, and the scripture that we know. And I think as believers, we have a lot of head knowledge. We know a lot of stuff. But when it comes down to bringing it down here to our hearts and our souls and actually applying them in our everyday life, that's where we fall short. So if we know that God is like, I got this, I'm going to take care of it. If you just give it to me. Then what's stopping us from giving it to him? We got to give him the things that cause us to worry, because in Matthew chapter 6, he plainly says, do not worry.
Wow. I just read something in my memories. Keep talking. I'm going to see if I can find it.
So that, for me, that means, okay, God, I don't want to worry. But I know that there are going to be things that happen in my life that cause me to worry. So you tell me to put all this stuff on you, and that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna just give it to you. And I find that I have a better, I'm at peace a lot more than I've ever been. Right? Like the only thing that really rattles me right now is when me and her aren't where we're supposed to be.
And yo, when you think about that.
You know, that's
like I was thinking about this earlier. Like, how many things are connected to rest? How many issues that we're having?
And that's
all kinds of rest.
You
know, like we might be at odds because I'm not emotionally rested. I'm worried about something,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then I'm taking it out on him.
Yep. That's true. I can say for sure that that's what I do.
We most certainly fall into that category.
Absolutely 100%.
Yep.
I know that I do that.
Wow. But see that, and that's why we have this morning check-in thing, right?
Mm.
Right. So one thing that I noticed about us is that we weren't operating the way that we used to, right? Where we would pray about everything together. We'll come together. Like we're prayer. Like my wife's a prayer warrior. Like I'm a prayer warrior, but not on her level, right? Like this girl can pray, right? But what we used to do is we used to come together and pray together. And then when we moved down in Maryland, we got busy with life. We still had a prayer life.
Got busy as students.
A strong prayer life, but we weren't coming together as husband and wife and praying and being in God's presence together to pray and study the word of God and stuff like that. And that in itself causes a whole bunch of things to happen that would not usually happen if we were coming together. So we decided just this week that we got to get back to the basics and rest, and because that's an aspect of rest too. Like we're coming together. God is our head to make sure that our home is functioning the way it should be, to make sure that we're dealing with the things that we need to deal with together, putting all these things in God's hands, spending some quality time together with our Lord and Savior, together as one in prayer, right? And spending our time in a word. And if we got anything that we need to talk about, let's do that on a daily. Let's make sure that we're communicating with each other, not just having general conversation, but let's deal with some of the issues that may be on our minds, you know, and put those things in God's hands and just let him instruct us or give us the wisdom that we need to get through these things, you know? And so I felt a lighter aspect of our home. Right? My wife smiles way more and is smiling way more this past week than she has in a long time. You know, and she's a busy woman. Like she keeps busy. She doesn't this is something that I know I could do. I just know I got to get my sleep patterns down. My issue, if I get my sleeping patterns right, everything else is going to fall into place for me. My wife, her middle name is busy. Like she doesn't like rest. She thinks something's wrong with it.
Yeah.
Right? Until she gets to a place where she's like burnt out and tired. But then that's a state where our minds start acting wonky and stuff like that too. That's a place that can also trigger our emotions. It could be nothing going on. It's just that I'm burnt out. And so I'm irritated because I'm burnt out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's your body letting you know that you've overworked yourself, right? And it's time for you to go to sleep. And so anything and anybody that's going to get in the way of your mind and your body resting is going to be an irritant to you.
Yes.
Wow. That's crazy.
Now,
AJ Wright said, who is? AJ, what are you referring to when you say who is?
Who is? While we wait for his answer, you were talking, Ché, about Matthew 6, and you were talking about worry, right? This came up in my memories that I wrote a year ago. Clearly, I was worrying about something a year ago. Thank God I don't remember what it was.
Reed. Did I say AJ Wright? Sorry.
But it says, first I posted Matthew 6:27. Can all your worries add a single moment to your life? I've had a lot of anxious thoughts these past couple of days. I just had to leave everything, shut myself in my room and pray. I laid out every concern at God's feet. I asked him, why was it so hard for me to stop worrying? And this is what I came away with. Sometimes you feel like you can't not worry. You feel as though since you don't have a solution to your problem, you're supposed to worry about it, as if worrying just might help your mind come up with a solution. That is a lie from the pit of hell.
Absolutely.
I meant what I said in Matthew 6. I know about every need that you have. The only thing produced from your worrying is stress. I'm still your provider. Why do you have so little faith?
Hey, we could drop the mic right there. That's it. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's like God is upset with a lot of us simply because we won't cast our cares on him. He's like, I never gave you shoulders to handle any of this stuff. Like if we think about the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve was running the Garden of Eden naked and without a care in the world. You know, and then the snake comes in, Eve has a conversation with the snake. And like I compare that to the year that we're in now. 2020 is like that. Like all hell has broke loose. Mercy. You know?
What if we flipped that and just said that the snake did not have a conversation with Adam? Okay, go ahead.
The snake. Okay, I hear you. But it's not gonna happen that way. You know, so Adam and Eve went from being naked and unashamed to being naked and afraid. And a lot of our worry comes from the fact that we're afraid that there's going to be a consequence that happens because of the thing that we're worried about if we don't fix it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And God is like, I didn't tell you to fix this thing. I told you to give it to me so that I can fix it.
It's fear. It's fear. It's fear of being still. It's fear of resting. Fear of resting.
Yeah.
Think we're going to miss out on something.
And it could also be like a fear of being vulnerable, right? Like what happens if I slow down? Am I going to see myself in the mirror? Like not just physically, but emotionally. I mean, I think a lot of our patterns, the patterns that our movement patterns, I think largely they come from what we've been taught, you know? What did we see our parents doing or not doing? What did we see our other elders doing or not doing? You know, I come from a family of workers, especially the women. The women, they were working, making it, you know, and whether it was working for their families or working for others or working with others, like they were, it's like, you know, just up early, go to bed, like, you know, just working. And so my work ethic comes from the women in my family, I would say primarily. But I think that there is something else there. And one of the things that I am really interested in as I continue school is the part, just as a Black woman, the part that oppression plays in our work ethic. So is it really work ethic? Or do I think I need to work a particular kind of way in order to compete with the rest of them? And by the rest of them, we're talking about white folks, white men primarily. So the saying, you got to be 10 times harder, 10 times stronger, 10 times smarter. Smarter than who? Stronger than who? So like, am I working? Is this loyalty? Or is it me trying to, you know, and I use compete, but I don't know that it's competition. It's like proving myself, showing my worth. I'm worth something for real, Massa. I'm worth something. Look what I can do. And a lot of times we're not even working for others. We might be entrepreneurs, but who are you? Quote unquote competing with the ownership of your own business, you know? I don't know. This thing is just so, it is so deep, it is so wide, and it has become, you know, I don't know. We've had some ideas about what we do together in partnership, but this thing right here is really something that God has shown us in these last few weeks. That you got to keep exploring it, and you got to keep sharing it, because we are killing ourselves.
Yeah, that's great.
We are killing ourselves.
We are. And just to shout out to AJ, StreamYard is messing with me today because I don't see, like, I'm glad you're following this because those comments are not on the screen. AJ was just saying, you're right. If we cast all our cares on him and not take those cares back, it would increase our faith. Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
And that's the thing. We tend to take it back. We tend to want to take control of those things. Again, not resting. We tend to want to take it back because you feel like God is not doing anything. Like,
yep.
Yeah.
Who am I to even take anything back from God? But we do that anyway.
Shout out to Elise too. Thanks for joining. I didn't see him pop up on there either. So I'm not ignoring those comments. I don't see them. I see them here, but not on the screen.
Okay.
And it may not even be a factor of us not like taking it back from God. Sometimes we talk to God about it, but never release it. And most times we think it's our responsibility to fix it.
Right.
And that's not, no, God gave us the mandate to seek him first. And he said he would add everything else. And we could live that out. Like and to trust him, what we do is we trust ourselves more than we trust God's process.
Yeah.
And so that's what causes us to want to fix everything ourselves. Want to make sure that we got everything handled ourselves. And I'm gonna say this over and over and over again. God did not equip us with them types of shoulders. He is the only being in the universe that has them shoulders. Let's think about this. When Jesus died on the cross, he died with the weight of humanity's sin. And he was the only being that can do that. And he didn't just die for our sins. He died for every thing that was attached to those sins. So the worry that we have, the doubt that we have, the anxiety that we have, he put all that on the cross and took it from us. So we have to get to a place where we just accept that I don't have to wear this stuff. Christ already died for it. Christ, like when we think of rest, like especially like us as Sabbath keepers, right? We think of rest, the first thing that pops into our mind is Sabbath.
Right.
But everything that God did for us has an element of rest to it. He wants us to rest from worry. He wants us to rest from doubt.
And you ain't gotta wait till Saturday to do that.
He wants us
Get your life.
Rest from being concerned. Right? He wants us to like have a lifestyle of rest from sin. Right? He wants to give us rest so that we can enjoy running around in the garden naked again. Right? Like that's the ultimate goal for God. I want my children back with me.
Yeah.
Right? Where when we look at creation, he created everything for us. Before he created us, he set up shop for us so that when he created us, everything that we needed was there.
Right.
We didn't have to create none of that stuff to live.
Right.
And so God's like, I just want you to rely on me. Right? And so what does that look like? Because I'm not saying to quit your job. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying to quit your job. What I am saying is ask God if this is the career that you really want me working in. Right? Let's start with let's ask these serious questions. God, if I'm supposed to be following you, then what did you create me to be? Because a lot of us have chosen our own path.
Yeah.
Right? And God may have blessed our own path, but it's not his.
Right.
Wow.
Right? And until we get to that place where we're walking in the path that he purposed us to walk in, then that's when we are going to get to a place where we receive the blessings that he has for us. My mom tells me this story all the time, and I don't know if it's true or not, but it makes sense to me. And she says, like, so a lot of us, when we make it into the kingdom of heaven, God's going to take us to this warehouse that he has, and he's going to show us all the blessings that we missed out on simply because we chose to do things our way and not his.
Mercy.
Yep.
I'm still stuck on Jesus was on the cross. When he died on the cross, he died for all of our sins, yes, but also for everything that is attached to those sins. I'm still on that.
What did Adam and Eve worry about before they ate the fruit?
Nothing.
What were they scared of before they ate the fruit?
They didn't even know what that was.
Right.
They didn't know nothing about that stuff. As soon as they ate it. So the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, right? Like we tell people that, like we tell people that God didn't want them to eat that, and if they eat that, the punishment for them eating that is death. And it's not. God wasn't saying that's your punishment for disobeying me. That was that tree over there. I did not make for the consumption of humanity. I don't want humanity knowing the difference between good and evil. What I want humanity to know is me. That's it. So I don't want you eating that, because the results of eating that fruit is going to cause you to die. Right? And I tell people, it's like this. It's like you're having your young babies following you in the kitchen and you're cooking on the stove, right? And the child's attracted to the fire on the stove. And you tell your child, don't touch that flame, because if you touch that flame, it's going to burn you. Right? But the child is so attracted to the flame that when you turn your back to do something, they run for it, they grab to it, you hear the child scream. Right? Now the child gets burnt, but it didn't get burnt because of a punishment that you put on that child. The child got burnt because the result of putting your hand on a hot flame is you will get burnt. Now the element of being disobedient is there. The disobedience caused the consequence, but it wasn't God saying, I'm gonna kill you if you eat that. It was that's what that fruit does. Right.
Yep.
You know, and so God was like, I don't want, and worry and all that stuff came from that one bite. I hope that fruit tasted well.
I know, for all that, right?
You know what I'm saying? Because all it took was that one bite for us to be dealing with what we're dealing with now. Right? And so now we have to go to God for rest. We have to go to God to give him our anxieties and stuff like that. Right? But God's entire blueprint was, I want humanity to enjoy what I have for them, and I want them to rest.
Man, that's good, man.
We could go on and on.
Yeah, we could. And I just want to say this too, because I want you guys to tell folk how they can get a hold of you. I just want to share. I had the privilege of eavesdropping. That's literally what I was doing. They had a webinar recently talking about this, and I was tempted to stop you throughout some of this, because this webinar, the knowledge that was dropped in this webinar about rest was phenomenal. And there are several nuggets that they did not share in this conversation that you will have to go check out that webinar, and you will have to check out as in cha-ching, check out that webinar. Like this is not, they were gracious enough to kind of drop some stuff on us for free tonight. But that was, you know how you go to the restaurant and there's a part of the menu that says appetizers, and then there's a part of the menu that says entree, right? They bring the appetizers, you can purchase those and get them out. They gave us some free appetizers. They treat us like Applebee's, right? They gave us some free apps, right, in this conversation tonight. But the entree, you got to follow them to get the entree, because there was some stats and some information dropped in there about rest and sleep that after I eavesdropped on that conversation, I was like, wait a minute, I got to make some changes. Like some real changes. And so let the folks know before we get out of here how they can get a hold of you, how they can register or get the replay of that webinar, because it's phenomenal.
The easiest way to get in touch with us is saltlifeandlove.com. Salt, life, and love.com.
Let me see if I can throw it on the screen.
Is it A&D or is it the and?
Yeah, A&D. And then when you go there, you can click on our other social media platforms from there. But that's the easiest way. And we have not, I would say before. What? What's that? Oh, yes, that's us. Before the end of this month, we are going to be sharing some dates for some virtual retreats.
Great.
Concerning rest. We are calling these times where we gather the experience. And so what we are looking to do is a virtual retreat is kind of weird. So, it's like maybe not really a retreat because you're not, in some cabin or by the lake or, things like that. So we've been calling it a rest boot camp. Okay. Just really thinking about ways that we might be hindering our own rest and exploring ways that we might be able to regenerate, re-infuse, re-energize our lives, our careers, our everything, just because we rest. So we hope that you all would come find us at Salt Life and Love.
Yeah, sign up to our mailing list, and that way we can get a hold of you and get you the information that you need. Yeah. If you are interested in watching our webinar that we did, you can find all the information.
Yeah. Hey. And I don't know, offline, we got to holler at y'all.
Listen, I was just about to say, you got a couple minutes?
Yeah.
A couple minutes?
Sure do.
All right. So we're going to wrap this conversation up and then we'll talk right after.
Yes.
Right. So, yes, sir.
Can I say one thing to the viewers?
Absolutely.
Yes, please.
So let's get it out of our mind that rest is just sleeping. We talked about that type of rest tonight, but rest is far greater than that.
Yeah.
Rest is going on vacation, but it's making sure that you're not making that vacation as busy as possible. Go on vacation to rest. Spend most of your time at the beach. Spend most of your time, if you're married like us, spend most of your time whining and dining each other. Yeah. Spend most of your time in your hotel room. Don't think that you got to go to every single event.
Right.
And
vacation means to vacate from the busyness of life.
Right.
So don't make that, and that's just another nugget. But
so
that's
two nuggets. Two nuggets. Go on vacation. And I'll say for the working poor, rest is dreaming.
Wow.
Extend your whole being, because for so many of us, we are one paycheck away from being unhoused. One missed payment away from having our car repossessed. So I want to be able to share with you all that dreaming is a rest response.
Wow.
And not only is dreaming a rest response, when you go back to rebellion, you can see I'm an activist. Dreaming is a rebellion as well, right? When we allow our minds, our bodies, and our spirits to consider beyond this moment in time, or this raggedy season that we're having, or this, terrifying season that we're having, and dream of something else. Nobody can stop you.
That's deep.
Don't let them take your dreams, y'all.
So dream, but don't dream about working 5 or 6 jobs.
Right.
Dream
Mm.
and come up with tangible ways where you can accomplish your dreams without killing yourself.
Mercy.
Wow.
That's good. Good stuff.
Listen, thank you for that, because thank you for taking some time to talk with us, because that's a crucial component for us. That's a component that is not where it should be.
Right.
In our relationship.
Yeah.
And we do see, like we were joking about it in the beginning, but we do see the effects of the absence
of adequate rest.
We see the effects. And if we look back on some of the things that have gotten to us the most, and some of the times where we thankfully snap out of it with our 2 ships statement, right? But if you think about the times when we are 2 ships passing in the night, and we really are honest with peeling back the layers of the onion, the core of that is that we're just kind of running ourselves for whatever reason.
Running on fumes.
So that is something that we have to work on.
Statement is.
Oh, well, the 2 ship statement is just basically we'll get in these periods of time where we are literally like 2 ships passing in the night. There's the level of interaction that should take place in order for us to maintain a healthy space is not happening.
Yeah.
So normally what will happen is one of us will recognize that after however long time it happens. One of us will recognize it and just say 2 ships. And that's kind of the punch in the punch in the chest. Like, hold on, let's reel this thing in. Yeah. Get it together. So, but if we look at the times when that's happening, we can probably link most of those things to a feeling of being overwhelmed based on trying to carry a bunch of things for a extended period of time without resting or giving it up that we don't have shoulders for, like you said. So this is good. We appreciate the reminder, man. That's what's up. See, guys, that's why we have these conversations, man. We have these conversations because we go through this stuff. Like we will never get up in front of somebody and be like, here's the ideal. Ta-da. It's never going to be that. It's never going to be that. But here's the beauty of that, right? Because some people can say, oh, well, if they still have issues and they're about to be married 20 years, then it ain't no point. But that's not it. That's not it. The beauty is that we continue on the journey. We talk about this all the time, right? We continue on the journey. And if you think about a journey, if we're traveling from Maryland to California, a myriad of things could happen along the way, right? I could get a flat tire, right? If we get a flat tire, do we abandon the car and go our separate ways, or do we fix the tire and keep going? Right? We choose to keep going in an effort to encourage other folk to keep going. That's all this Thursday night conversation is all about, right? So you guys stick with me, right? I'm just going to wrap this up and then we're going to talk. But we bookended the same way every week, right? We created a tool, and that tool can help you have the kinds of conversations that can get you out of certain ruts, right? That tool is have a conversation journal, right? Have a conversation journal you can get on our website. You can get on Barnes and Nobles. You can get on Amazon. And we want you to pick that up because it is a useful tool. Like, honestly, let me be honest. I'm not a journaler. My wife is, right? I kind of actually in the beginning was a little like, this is whack. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it for real. This is I'm not writing.
Jay, you
What's the
agree
point?
with that statement?
What's the point of writing? You know what I mean?
We had the same conversation. So you trying to convince me to do some journaling now? Like,
Oh gosh.
But what I've come to discover, right? And I think Leah said something. I think Leah said something about writing some things down. We were talking about emotions, right? I've come to realize that I'm not probably ever going to get to the level that you are on when it comes to journaling, but I have come to recognize the value in brain dumping, if you will, on paper. And that's literally what this journal is for.
Yeah.
It has 12 topics in there that you can use those topics, or you can create your own. And it's literally an opportunity for you to brain dump. You also, and we haven't said this in a long time, but you also get to see excerpts from our actual journal entries. It's not for you to copy, but it's just to show you, one, that we used it, and two, the kinds of things that you can kind of get off your chest and then use them as conversation starters. So make sure that those of you who are watching, make sure you pick that up. A couple of things I want to say, because we're excited about some things coming up. And so we got to push them real quick, and then we'll let you go. The first thing is we are super excited. And this has nothing to do with relationships or marriage or anything, but we've mentioned it. It's on several conversations, so we're going to share it. We're counting down to midnight, because at midnight, our son, aka Just Silver, is dropping debut album.
All right.
And the album is fire.
Okay.
Fire. And those of you who have been kind of following us, you know that we have talked about, just the journey and how therapeutic writing has turned into him using this medium to tell his story and that kind of thing. So just, man, I'm excited. There's one single that's already out that we dropped from the album, but the rest of the album is available at midnight, streaming everywhere that you stream music. So we want to make sure that you show the young king. That's what I call him. That's my hashtag for him. The young king. You show him some love. Make sure that you go ahead and stream this album. Cop the album if you want to. It'll be on your favorite streaming site. So make sure that you are there for that. I may even do a video just refreshing my phone at midnight, which, Ché, I know is really contradictory to what we talked
right,
about.
Yeah.
But then tomorrow we have to kick in with the good rest. And then the next thing is August 29th. This thing is going to be nuts. We talk about having a conversation. We're doing the Have a Conversation Marriage Forum. We have 3 couples that, if you are not already following these 3 couples, you will be following them after you hear them in this this conference. LaTroy and Christina Brown from Married for Real, Aaron and Jocelyn Freeman from the Freemans, and Jimmy and Rachel Rogers from Relationship Real Talk. These 3 couples, I'm honestly, can I be honest? I'm in awe that they even said yes.
Wow.
Like, that's how bananas this lineup is. Like, I'm in awe that they said yes.
We're excited.
LaTroy and Christina Brown are our keynote couple for that event. LaTroy, just to give you kind of the magnitude, right? And I know it's not about numbers, but just to show you that the individuals' lives that they impact. They just did a video, a impromptu, taking a walk through the park video, and it's got like 50,000 views.
My God.
Wow.
They are impactful.
They are impactful.
Yeah.
I mean, they are real, they are raw, they're edgy, and they are biblical.
Yes.
Wow.
They're going to give you exactly what comes to them, the way that it comes to them, and it's going to be beneficial. Aaron and Jocelyn, same thing. Great couple, real, authentic. Jimmy and Rachel, same thing. Real, just some really good people.
Good people.
And some phenomenal people that have been on several stages, and they have chosen to take some time out to pour into the folks that come to this forum. So make sure you get your pass. There's 2 passes, $17 for general pass. VIP pass is $27. We're excited about it. We're excited about it. Yeah. So with that, folks, that's Thursday nights. You know, that's what we do on Thursday nights. And so we thank you for taking the time out to be with us. And we'll be back next Thursday night. Have a great night. And have a great weekend.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Good night, everybody.
It's our pleasure. It's our pleasure.